Well, hello. I am Mary, and this is what I am now calling Making is the Point. And it will be a knitting, fiber arts, sewing, other crafty stuff YouTube podcast. So it all began because I was recently laid off, and I was joking to friends that if I were a dude, I would start a podcast. But since I'm a Gen X lady that likes fiber arts, I'm going to start a video series on YouTube and then just call it a podcast because that's what we do. And we'll see if I do another one of these or whatever happens. So I'm calling it Making is the Point because I have many times been told by very kind people, oh, maybe you should sell that. A lot of stuff I make is not sell worthy, but that's nice of them to say. And I don't want to. And I know a lot of other people hear this if you make stuff. And I just want it to be my hobby. And I think a lot of us just want this to be our hobby. And I think it gets to something that is very important to me, and that is art for the sake of art's sake. And whether it's fiber arts or music or drawing or woodworking or anything, it's a good thing to create things and put them in the world and to just appreciate it for that and make connections with friends and joy to your life. And these capitalist bastards, hard as they try, cannot take that from us. So, yeah, that's where that came from. So, I'm just going to start for this first one by just getting into the basics of what I'm wearing now, what I'm working on, and all that kind of jazz. And I can't resist weird tangents, so that'll probably happen too. But right now, I am wearing the winter sweater, singular, because later there's a plural winter that I'm working on. But this is the winter sweater by Kate Gagnon Osborne, and I made this out of VD. What's it called? Hilvag. VD. VIDDE. It's Norwegian. I got it in Bergen, Norway, a couple years ago. Let's see if I can do this. You guys, I learned how to podcast just earlier. So it's really pretty. It's very rustic and woolly. I am not super sensitive to wool, but I probably would wear this without a long sleever, but it's, I'm in Chicago, by the way, and it's been snowing every day and cold, and this is perfect for this. I actually like the winter, so I'm not one of these haters, but so anyway, this is yeah, like I said, Kate Gagnon Osborne. I love from Kelbourne Woolens. I love this pattern. I love this sweater. Oh, another thing to show is the buttons. I used buttons that I got in Iceland many, many years ago. You're sensing a theme, perhaps. I like to get stuff I'm going to use to make stuff with when I travel as souvenirs, yarn, fabric, buttons, whatever. And a Christmas ornament, but that's a side thing. But they're little rocks. And I now put buttons on by just shoving it in my sewing machine and using a button foot, and they never come off. So, yeah, that's that. That's what I'm wearing now, what I am working on. I am going to start with the most unhinged of my projects. I will start by saying I took a class a couple months ago called Direct Your Own Doodle Sweater. And I took the class with Laura McDougall-Long and Allison Dykhuizen. They have a network called the Laura Allison Party. There's a social media aspect, there are knit nights, there are in-person retreats, and all kinds of stuff, classes. They do a lot of virtual classes. So there's people from all over the world that take the classes, and I recommend them, and we'll link it below. But I took this class, and it was called Direct Your Own Doodle Sweater, where we picked a movie and made a doodle sweater out of it, and I'm still working on it. It's kind of a longer term. I picked Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So this is what I've got so far. It's kooky. It's a kook. She's a real kook. Um, and we got a dino up top, and then Pee-wee, a bike, deep in the heart of Texas. I got out of Texas. That was my goal for January. It's a big state, even when you're just stitching it. So, podcasting pro tip, plug in your laptop. So, I made it out of Texas, and I think I'm going to relocate these dinos. I have probably 3 more doodles to do on the bottom. I'll probably take these downos off the top and put them at the bottom because once I tried it on, this just came up too high. It looks a little goofy. Also, I had changed, this was too tight. I swatched, but it just wound up being too tight when I knit it. And then, so I changed needle sizes. So this feels too tight. All that to say, got a lot more to do on this. And then the sleeves, I'm not going to do doodles because that seems annoying. And part of designing your own sweater is to reduce annoying in my mind. So I'm going to probably do maybe stripes with these colors and this little motify bit in between them. I don't know. That's for future me to think about. And because right now I got a lot more to do. Large March is coming up next. That's exciting. Okay. I am working on another class with Allison Dykhuizen right now, and it is the book club pullover, not the cardigan. And so far I got this little bit of her. You know, she's the back top and the little front bits. And this is out of Hudson and West Forge. And before you get too attached to how delightful this is, they stopped making it. I fell in love with it when I made the Dagmar zip pullover. I use Dusk. I love that stuff. And so then I saw that they were going out of business and I panic bought a sweater quantity in this camel color. I'm usually not a buy yarn before I have a project kind of gal, but I couldn't help it and no regrets. Love it. So yeah, I like taking the class too because then it paces it out. Let's do my little homework, wait till the next class. So I'm caught up on my homework. And then another Laura joint is Laura Make You Belong of the party. She has a maker work group, which is fun. It's like more of a casual weekly thing where we just work on stuff, chit chat about knitting and TV and whatever else. And usually there's like a loose theme. So this time it's coastal grandma, snoozy coastal grandma. Basically the kind of sweater you want to wear, but it might be a little boring to make. So you make it along with your friends and it becomes more fun. So for that, I'm making the Winters pullover with an S by Ozetta. And I'm using Rainy Day, Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in Rainy Day. And so she's pretty. She's gray. She's going to be massive. It's like, I don't know, 15 inches of ease or something like that. And she's kind of like a snooze, but nothing against Ozetta or this pattern. It's great. I'm just, it's a lot of stock in it. So, yeah, that's where I'm doing with this. It's like a big giant basic sweater, huge cowl neck, and that's about it. She's very on trend though. I see these all over the place, these giant basic sweaters. So, and the last thing that I'm working on that I had to go grab is the Melt the Ice hat, which probably heard about. It's taken the world by storm. Needle and Skeins is a store in Minneapolis, and you can get the pattern on their website or their Instagram. And you basically use any red yarn, and I'm using Kelbourne Woolens Scout. You'll see a theme. I love Kelbourne Woolens. It's just a whole lot of ribbing, and then it decreases, and there's a little tassel on top. So if you haven't heard this whole spiel yet, it was in reference to 1940s in Norwegian hat. They made these and wore them to protest the occupation of the Nazis. And then the Nazis outlawed wearing them, punishable by death. So that's a nod to that. And there were these red hats. So I had been making a Sophie hood in this and put it down for like a year and thought, even before this came out, I thought I was going to frog it. And I decided to do that once this came out and use this yarn for that. Yeah. So one thing to say about this, I saw this kerfuffle on Threads and probably elsewhere on the internet. And there are people that were like, oh, it's so performative. Oh, really? Dingleberry123. I'm not going to take down the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Department by knitting 6 inches of ribbing and 24 decreasing rows. I thought I was. I mean, can't we just make a fucking hat? But the joke's on them because they raised $250,000, more than that, for, I wrote down the organization, STEP and Immigrant Rapid Response Fund. So you can go to Needles and Skein and see more info about that. But yeah, so that's that. Okay, so those were our whips for those not in the biz, works in progress. Now for our FOs, finished objects. Recent, hot off the press, is the Jaunty, which I haven't even blocked it or woven in the ends yet. But this I made out of hand-spun yarn. So it was probably around November. The Table 10 Gals, they're a fun podcast on this very website. Two fun sisters from Pittsburgh. They're great. They got really into spinning in a way that really delighted me. I had started spinning during COVID. I got a drop spindle, learned how to use it, got a very affordable little wheel, and tried to learn how to use it. But I never got good enough that it was like something I really wanted to keep doing. I was like, oh, I should look up more videos and get better at that. But it was so frustrating. I couldn't figure it out. Drop spindle, I got okay, but it was so slow. So then I'm watching these gals and they're using all this fun fiber and really energetic about it. And I really was like, I think I need to get an e-spinner. So I did. I got the Daedalus Sparrow, which is their smallest one, and I love it. Maybe it's not their smallest now. They have the Dove, but that was pre-Dove. So anyway, Daedalus and Andrea Mowry, everyone's favorite knitting designer, she and Daedalus have a jaunty spin to knit along. So you spin your own yarn and then you make this delightful shawl with it. So I was like, you know what? I'm a seasoned spinner. I made one skein of yarn. So I did it and I love this thing. It's very clown forward. I mean, what? It's Nest Fibers. This is the company that made the fiber, and it's Antidote. And I'm going to just block it, just probably around here, not super long, because one of my other recent knits, what that'll show, is super long. I don't need a lot of that. So, also, I was nervous that I was going to run out of yarn, so I cut myself off way too early. Like you knit half your yarn and then you start decreasing. And I didn't want to run out of it since I made it and didn't have any left. And then now I have a bunch of extra, but better safe than sorry. But it's the squishiest. And I wish I could tell you how I spun the yarn because it's really funny. Like the people people that actually know what they're doing are like, I did a 2-ply fractal combo. I'm like, I just shove this thing in there and I hope it doesn't break. And if it doesn't and it makes something that looks like something I could ply together, I'm thrilled. It's a real fun thing to do while I watch my programs. Speaking of my programs, here's a tangent. Just finished up Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I want to get John Oliver on the horn because I know that he watched this show. I have some things to say. Let me just put on my new Jaunty while I say it. So you can just really soak in how friggin' awesome this thing is. So, Mary Cosby, what are we doing with this lady? I watched the documentary. Her church is cult vibes. We all know this. She didn't visit Robert Jr. in jail. What's going on with Cosby? I'm sick of pretending she's not a total wreck. In not a fun housewifey way, but like dangerous. Give her the boot. Friggin' Meredith Marks. I'm tired of the reactive abuse. I am tired of this woman never taking accountability. This friggin' plane thing just drove me bonkers. We just need to switch up the cast. Meredith, and now that I'm unemployed and looking for work, I'm on LinkedIn. I mean, part of all of this is just like every gal needs a break from the LinkedIn.com. Seth Marks is on LinkedIn and he like follows people. I could probably connect with Seth Marks, but that's not going to help in my job search. So, anyway, that's just a fun aside. It's so Seth Marks to be like, have LinkedIn as your social media outlet. I mean, how friggin' corny is that? Anyway, that's one of my programs. And then I'll tell you about another program after I show you another FO. This is what is this called? I always forget this lady's name. She is the Flannel Crush. The crush does not sink into my mind grapes. That's an old 30 Rock reference. I don't know. Anyway, this is, as you can see, a real cutie patootie. She is made from Scout-Oatmeal heather. There we go again. I like her. Scout, she's great. And Cedar Creek alpaca. What's Cedar Creek? Well, it's an adorable little alpaca farm in Oregon that my boo and I visited when we were there in the fall. So that's what the color changing yarn is. Oh my God, look at me. I can go. Anyway, look at that. She's so cute. I'm smelling it because when I bought it, it had been washed, which is great, clean yarn with these from these sheep. It doesn't smell like sheep. It smelled like tied with bleach alternative and it was giving me a headache. So I was so excited to block it and use my soak. I think I have Celebration right now. So that stuff smells great. She's great. And then my last FO as of late is this Tour de Force by our pal Andrea Mowry. Who doesn't love some Mowry? Okay, let me take a moment. There's a reason this woman is so popular. She writes the best patterns. The font is great. The directions are enough, but not too much. It's not like one of these recipes where it's like, well, David and I were traveling through Maine last fall and we stopped upon an orchard. I'm like, tell me what the fuck to put in the pie. Anyway, same with Mowry. She just gets right to it. If there's a new instruction, she probably has a link to a very succinct video where she shows you with her cool tattooed hands. It's like perfect. So anyway, through lines. Get to the point. Through line. I just noticed there was a wire hanging and I can't care. Also, I just want you to know, stars, they're just like us. So this is made from stash yarn. I stashed it right out. The brown is Farmer's Daughter Soka'pii, I think is how you say it. I don't know the color because I tried to find it on their website and I couldn't find this exact color, but perhaps it's there, but they have a bajillion amazing colors. So that's that. It's single ply. I really love it. It's like just soft and fun to knit with. The cream color, I have no idea what it is. It was in my stash, didn't have a label on it. And then the multicolor is Junction Fiber Mill Making Tracks. I love this stuff. It was the first time I used it. It's very squishy and delightful, and the colors, they're just great. It goes, she's a rainbow. And this thing is gargantuan in a way that I love. The shape is so good. It makes sense. It's practical. You don't have to figure out what to do with it. And it goes on forever. And I didn't even do all the repeats because I was like, Trivial Knits. She's cool. She gives you trivia. She makes awesome accessories. Love her channel. She suggested maybe not as long. Please excuse my dog. Rosie wants you to know that there's a Labradoodle walking by. She hates doodles. Anyway, so I did 23 repeats, but the pattern called for 25, and it's still, look how freaking long it is. And I blocked it, but not that much. So I mean, I blocked it out a little bigger, but not too much. So I love it so much. And while you admire, also, I'm in Chicago. Might have mentioned that. This has been great under a coat. Cold. It's been like 10 degrees. Perfect. So I know you're like, when are you going to talk about more of your programs? My other program that I really liked, a little more highbrow than those housewives. Train Dreams, you guys. This movie. I keep thinking about it. I watched it like a week ago. It's up for an Academy Award. And it's a small film. It's a really simple story. It's gutting, and that's sort of what I love. I won't, you can look it up. You can read however much you want about it. I wouldn't say too much because it sort of gives a lot of it away as soon as I start talking about what's going on. But it's great. It's early 1800s. He's a logger in the Pacific Northwest and just living his life, and stuff happens. And yeah, as soon as it was over, I was crying because, but then I was crying also because I was like, my mom would have loved this movie. She passed away a few years ago, and she and I had a lot in common. And one of those things is loving a just simple story in a movie. And if it's heartbreaking, even better. Like, I always remember she was like, she's from Brooklyn, thick accent. Mary Beth, call me Mary Beth, Mary Elizabeth. The Catholics, they're so creative. Everybody's so creative. Mary Beth, you have to watch The Boy with the Striped Pajamas. I sobbed. My dad was like, why is that a good review? But she would have loved this because she would have sobbed. Another, my parents loved movies, like went to see them all the time. Tuesdays do you know with the Optimum card, you can see movies free on Tuesdays? She told me every time they went to a movie. So they always went on Tuesdays to the theater, but then they would Netflix, all kinds of stuff. And I was thinking about this the other day. Back in the days when you got DVDs in the mail, I was at their house one time, and it was right after the holidays. And it was before I made the strict rule to never stay more than 4 days, because it was at that point that they went back to their real life, and then it just got way too maddening. So my dad goes to get the mail, and he had 3 of the DVDs came in the mail. All right. But he was like, oh, they all came on the same day. I got 3 of them. I was like, so just watch one at a time. He brings them into my mom. Can you believe, Joanne, 3 of these in a day? When are we going to watch these? And I'm thinking, well, 1, what else do you guys have to do? Just watch some movies. 2, Rosie. 2, just watch one at a time. Stick it back in the mail. And just as I think my mom's going to be like, oh my God, how annoying. She goes, what do they think? I have 6 eyes? I had to just leave. Got to get out of here. Got to go home. Anyway, the Thru line shawl is great. I think that's my FOs. Okay, so the next thing I have is just what? Acquisitions. As I previously noted, I don't often buy yarn without a plan. So I think I have 2 things. Okay, this one I did buy without a plan because I couldn't resist. It's from Dye Mad Yarns, and it's sock yarn, and it is, let's see, can you see the title? Fuck ice, you guys. Chester sock yarn. So I guess I'll make socks. I'm not really usually a sock gal, but I'm traveling next week, so I'm gonna make some socks. Maybe probably DRK every day, something simple, by our girl Andrea. Yeah, and you know what? I might make little shorty ones because my friend Jen we were at the No Kings. She was knitting away on her little sock, and she was just doing little crew, and I'm like, that's genius, because they don't slip down. If you're a good sock knitter, they probably don't slip down, but that's not me. So they don't slip down, and B, it's not as much sock to knit. Hot tips. because I am a loose knitter, and so I have to use zeros when I make socks, and that is tiny. And dear, what do you call double pointeds? Don't like them. So then I use the little shorties, and there's only so much of this I can do, you know? Those are my sad sock stories, but I'm going to use this and I'm going to make some crew socks and it's going to be great. Fuck ice. And then I have this lady to make, it's Germantown DK from Kelbourne, and I'm going to do their year of hats. I have a goal to do every single one, so I still have to cast on January. It's right, it's towards the end. I got to cast it on quick. So I'm going to use this for the first one and then probably just stash yarn moving forward. And this is, what's the color? You guys, it's called Orange. That is so refreshing. I like a cutesy little name as much as the next gal, but I like that it's like, you know what color this is? Orange. Great. Love it. Oh, and I do have one more thing. I spun some yarn. What is this kind? I wrote it down. It is Three Waters Farm in Smooth Sailing. You guys. It's so awesome. I love it so much. The colors are great. It is soft, soft, soft. I'm going to make a grid gambit with this and some gray shepherd's wool that I have in my stash. R.I.P. shepherd's wool. This stuff was fantastic. And these freaking places keep having to close their doors because of corporate myopia, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, this stuff is great. I love it. It's like the sand in the sea. Reminds me of a Joni Mitchell lyric. But anyway, I'm so excited about that. Is that all I have to say? It might be. Oh, no. No, it's not. Okay, the last thing I'm working on is not a knitting thing. It is cross stitch. But first, I just want to show this fun bag I have in. The actor Mae Martin, who you may know from the Handsome podcast or Wayward on Netflix, they had a thing on their Instagram that was this artwork they did of animals in having emotional moments. It's a raccoon. It says, "I love myself." Oh, maybe I should back up. I mean, come on. That's so cute. So anyway, it was a fundraiser for Doctors Without Borders, and I just couldn't resist. So I am doing this cross stitch in a comically large frame. It's the Local Conditions by Satsuma. And it is, oops, where can I? Oh, there we go. Basically, you just track the high temperature every day, and there's different colors for each like 5-degree range. So this is like half of January, and you can see it was chaotic. The yellow was like 60 degrees one day, and then it got down to like 0. So it's a fun way to track climate change, you guys. Okay, I thought I was done, but I have this one more thing I need to show. I'm like a little kid. Yeah, you want to see this? You want to see that? This book. It's a bullet journal, but I'm not using the canon law of bullet journaling. I'm just making notes. I've wanted to be better about taking notes on my projects. Mostly started because of knitting and I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to track like the speed I'm using the machine and the weight it's coming out and all that stuff. And part of what I did was get this little photo printer that has changed my life. Canon Ivy is the kind I got. There might be other better ones out there, but this one's working fine for my needs. I can print a little sticker photo, and then I make my notes about it, and I put my little sticker in there of the project, and it's so fun. It's fun to print little stickers, and then I put my little other stickers, Year of Hats 2026 from Kelbourne, and yeah, it's great. Wow, you guys. Do you think maybe I like certain colors? I made this with my own hands using the field bag pattern from Grainline. She's great. So another hot tip. I'm just full of hot tips. One thing I should say was, I wanted to say, I, like many of you, I know some of my friends who knit a lot, sometimes get pain in my shoulder. I have pain in my arm from a shingle shot. Yeah, I am that old. A shingle shot I got like 4 to 5 days ago. Still hurts. You know what would hurt more, anti-vaxxers? Shingles. So get off my back. Um, Speaking of my back and my shoulders, one thing I like to do with all this knitting is some yoga. And he's not paying me to say this with my 0 followers. Yoga with Tim on YouTube. He's my fave. I've tried all kinds of different ones, but I've stuck with him for years. He's great. I am picky about yoga. I don't like a lot of chatty, goofy, meditative stuff. Not that meditating's goofy, but you know what I mean. I just tell me the move. Let's just get to it. He's great. He sometimes has like dry humor one-liners that I really find delightful, but he's very knowledgeable and he has a ton of videos on YouTube. He did a 30-day challenge in January, but he also has like a group you can pay 15 bucks a month, and I've done that before too. It's great. But anyway, for free, you can get a ton of stuff on YouTube. I recommend it. And yeah, another thing I recommend is, I have a few other hobbies, and one of them is playing music with my friends. If you're in Chicago, I was just thinking about this the other day. It's just such a great place. The Old Town School of Folk Music. You should take classes there. It is so fun. I've been taking guitar forever. I have, right now, my boyfriend and I are taking a honky tonk 2-step class. We have a lot to learn, but it is so fun. Louie, our instructor, is a hoot and a half, and it's just great. Meet a ton of great people. So if you're not in Chicago, just find some place to take some music classes or dance or whatever. It is so fun, and you meet awesome people. Some of my best friends in the world are from there. So I just feel like, again, making is the point. We're supposed to have fun. We're supposed to have joy, all while we fight fascism and do whatever else we need to do with our lives. So RIP to Miss Catherine O'Hara, who is really one of the best creative people of my lifetime. It's just so sad. There's tons of stuff to watch from Best in Shows, one of my favorite movies of all time. And RIP to Mr. Alex Pretty and Miss Renee Good. And I just can't, what are you supposed to say? But we'll just keep doing the good work. And the fact that the poets and the caretakers are being taken from us is it's very purposeful, and we will put an end to this shit. But in the meantime, we're going to have some fun making our little crafts and our friends, and take care. See you soon. You know what? I know you're going to be like, 13th sleeps until this random lady tells me how her socks are going. So maybe I'll be back for that. Bye.